the active shooter stuff, we practice a lot of room clearing in active shooter scenarios, learning how to go into is actually practice it in a old abandoned college, and we practice, going room to room, how it would look like if we were just clearing a room, versus if we were responding to an active shooter. And essentially, we have like the policy of if there's an active shooter, it used to be you set a perimeter, and then once you had the perimeter set, you would go in. Well, they found that pretty much didn't help anybody. Obviously, if the person's in there actively shooting, you want to get in there as fast as possible. So our policy became the first, essentially every officer on scene starts going into the school or wherever the active shooter has been identified at. Essentially, we keep sending officers in, eventually until either the officers inside say, hey, we have enough officers in here, set a perimeter, set up a command center, and the first person who is on scene is in charge. Okay. And that only changes once like a supervisor or like sergeant, lieutenant, captain, whatever the department may have gets there, and then they take over as far as controlling on the outside, but they're still relying on the officers that are inside.
Okay.
And we had switched to, we used to have like an AR-15 and a shotgun in the patrol vehicle. And then we switched to just having the AR-15s and shotguns would be kept like in the trunk, mostly because people, obviously, most shootings, a lot of times they end up buying long guns, and trying to engage that with a handgun, you obviously have to get a lot closer.
That makes sense.
So, and then we also did yearly or like biannually active shooter training, where we started practicing with the fire department. So we did it was like a joint effort. So where the fire department would put on like plate carriers to protect them. So hopefully they don't get shot, or if they do, they're at least protected. And we would escort them in after enough teams had gone in and had cleared essentially a path. They would radio up and say, hey, we entered from here, we went this direction, this area is clear, go ahead, start moving in. And then another team with the fire department would go in and they would start assessing the casualties, injuries, or anything like that. And we would work to get them out as the officers were still trying to get the active shooter under control. So we started doing a lot of joint work. And we'd also do stuff with the nearby military bases and federal agencies. So we had a lot of opportunity to do a lot of training.